for greatness, I promise perfection. Mama birthed the king, immaculate conception. I survived in the darkness and the shadows of death. And through all that I prospered, they formed every weapon. But I came so thorough, never changed my wardrobe. Took every scar with honor, I was raised in the burrow. Now I'm giving to me from the belly of the beast. I'm just paying respects.
But I do want to shift gears a little bit now to, and this topic is something that sits on me a lot about it, and it's how the black man is viewed in the household, and especially in this day and age, because I think it's a lot different. I think there's some validity behind some of the views, but I also think there again is a push for some of the views to be the way they are. So I'll start this question off by again asking the ladies their opinion on this. I'm gonna come to y'all first because we're men, and I want to know how you view that, especially being mothers. How do you view it in this time now? Like, how is the black man viewed in the household?
Viewed, or as far as the black man being viewed, I want to say from the perspective of society. It's trash.
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
Like disrespectful, it's emasculating, it's just not cool. Mm-hmm. That is just not it. Like,
but that's why I asked, because I don't know how T feels, but I felt that way for a while. Y'all know I vocalized. I stated on social media a lot. Like, I don't really understand it, but I do understand it because I understand, like we were talking about with the childbirth and things like that. And T brought it up in the very beginning of the black household and getting the man out as a black household. And I think that is, especially now in the culture of, if I put it out on this, it goes out to the world immediately. And we are, for some reason, viewed by our, I don't like the word elites, but by our more well-known black men in this society. So if we see one of these black, men with status or whatever do something, it automatically triggers the entire rest of the black population of what happened with them and a black man. And I don't like to ever feel like I'm just simply saying, no, you're wrong, stop bashing black men, because some shit that people do, they deserve to get chastised for it. But there should also be if I'm going to chastise you, I should also be just as quick to try to understand, help you get better at what you fucked up at or what you didn't succeed at. But I don't feel like it's done that way for us. I feel like it's, once you fuck up, you fucked up. Like, you can't fix that. You fucked up. We don't need you anymore. Blase, blase, blase. So that's why I asked y'all about that. Like, is it tripping or?
No, I don't think you're tripping. As far as what the image of the black man is horrible. As far as what we see in the media, and we all know that if they can control the media, they can control the people. That's not my thing. I can't, bring to mind whose quote that actually is, but it's the truth. If you own the media and you can, it's the propaganda of it all. You understand what I'm saying? So if the image they put out of this, it's the same thing that let me not turn this into a black woman comment, because you asked specifically about black men. But I will say it is the propaganda of it all. And it leads us, because it's flashed in front of the screens all day, every day. You have certain commercial stuff that's dictated with just, the single black woman. Like, we got husbands, we have, uncles and grandfathers and brothers and stuff, even if you don't have a man per se that a husband, that responsible father, brother, uncle, or somebody is there. So it is the media that will throw these visuals at us to make us believe that the black man isn't wanted by his own women or across society. But internally, what I live, what I see, being also a 20-year vet and stuff like that, that's all I saw. You know what I mean? The statistics show that it's that way. But yes, it's not wrong that you feel that the black man is being emasculated across the TV and the newspaper and the social media and stuff like that. The truth is, he is, and that's what we see. But we have to change the narrative. We have to change the narrative. Those that are living, with those positive role models, whether it's husbands, fathers, uncles, brothers, cousins, whatever. We have to make sure that we highlight them and all the positivity and not add to the fuel to the fire by always highlighting the negatives that are happening. Because I definitely know more positives than negatives. But I do see that. I know that to be so, and we have to be the one to change the narrative for it. And people are gonna love whoever they're gonna love. They're gonna procreate with whoever it is that they're gonna procreate. But those of us who are wanting to see that representation of strong black families, we have to. And when I say strong black families, I mean strong black families is the representation of the father and the mother. We have to be the ones that project it, and we have to be adamant about it. It's not something that we can lax on because we know that there's a war in separating the black man from the black woman. Period. Because that goes back to our first conversation or the first topic of the conversation. When you can separate the black man and the black woman, you're going to separate the life that's created from that union, So right. Then our numbers can, lessen and stuff like that. Because in my experience, you do have those people that then go into an identity issue, whether I'm too white or too whatever else you're mixed in, or if I'm not black enough, or I'm too much of this, or I'm too black and not enough of this. But sticking on that topic, yes, the black man is emasculated in the society that we live in today. But we have to do everything that we can to project that positive image and to shout y'all out on every turn.
Got you. And again, before I go to UT, it's just like I'm trying to use the right language here. It's so hard to get on this device sometimes and just scroll, and just all I see is like, why don't y'all protect black women, or why don't y'all love black women, or black man this, or this. Like, I think Rilla phone might have died. She probably hopped back in, but I see that often, and like a lot of times it's like, what did for like, and I'll look at the specific individual, like what exactly did the black man do to you? Because we don't hear a lot about that. Like, we don't get full stories about this is why I feel this way. And I'm never gonna discredit anybody for what they went through. Like, if you've been harmed in any way by anybody, not just black men, but anybody, then you have the right to feel how you feel towards that individual. But there's also a sense of compartmentalization that we have to do on everything, because I am not that black man. T is not that black man that committed that act or made you feel that way against you. And honestly, a lot of times I feel like it's a lot of scorn women where really it was just a relationship didn't work. And I look at that as relationships. Roy's back now. I look at that as, like you said earlier, this is a game. And the chances of you meeting the right person on the first or even the millionth try, you're still at a disadvantage in this society because of people. You know, of course we break it down because you date where you are, you meet where you are. Let me get you got to turn it, Royal. Yeah. But a lot of times it's like I just feel like it's a lot of misguided anger towards us, and I told T like me and T we talk a lot. You know, we have group chats and things like that. And one thing I say, and not just to him but to a lot of guys that I talk about, is the only time I again, and I could be wrong, and I probably am wrong, but the only time a lot of black men feel appreciated is when we can provide or we get killed. And that's from, again, seeing like constant, like every day black men are not good enough. And I know black men that will lay down and die for black women. Like, I know this to be true. And I don't know, like, black men, I don't see it the same way as like black men getting online. We can't like, and again, like we was talking about, like what was talked about in the video, the feminist movement and everything like that. Like we can't say shit. Like for real, we can't. Like you can't say anything. And if I was famous, I probably couldn't even say this. You know, like black men can't say shit, especially when it pertains to how we feel about black men and women and those relationships and things like that. If we don't agree with the outward majority, then we hate women or we get called out of our name. You know, things like that. It's like, nah, I just don't agree. Like, I still love you to death. I just think that you're wrong on this point because one thing that we get, and I'll let you guys go because I don't want to hog the mic, but one thing that we get, and it irks me, I can't lie, it irks me, is a woman telling me that I'm wrong about how a man thinks. You know, like, and it happens way more often than it may seem. Like, we could be having a conversation about, you know, well, this is how men view dating, and this is how men view this, that, and the third. And you'll get, well, I hear you, but I don't think that's how men buy their block. It's like, yo, I'm a man, 33 years strong. I think I have more, you know, knowledge of this right here than you do.
Right.
But it's like, it's common now. Like, it's common. And T, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I just feel like that's how it is. Like, if I say, like, and I'll use him as an example, we're not going to hop on his train or anything, but, like, people hate to hear Kevin Samuels speak, but there's a lot of truth in how men think of what he says. Now, his delivery to some may be horrible, and I get that. It may be horrible, but if you yell at your kids, that don't mean you don't love them, right? Am I true in that statement? If I yell at my son, that don't mean I don't love him any less. It just means I use that method to get my message across at that moment. And that's how I view it. Because at first I didn't listen to him because I felt like, he tripping. But once I got past, all right, the banter back and forth, a lot of the stuff he says about how men view shit is true. Like, we simple. We don't view shit, you know, methodically like women. And if you tell a woman that, it's an automatic disrespect or something like that. And not just in dating, but just in general shit. It's like, yo, it don't have to be this complicated. I'm not telling you this because I feel like I'm in charge or I rule you. It's just, I'm a dude. Like, let me be a man. And that's kind of hard. Like,
I want to speak on it, Quay. Okay.
I think this topic is a little lighter than the first one, so we can keep going.
So listen, and you know, I'm very well on correcting some things that us women be doing and that we were programmed to do, because it's a program situation. We weren't raised to respect men. In certain aspects of households, we weren't. I can't speak for most, but I know I was, due to the fact of, and it's some things that I had to also learn to respect in a man from my own perspective of dealing with men. Because I couldn't label one man as one man for all men. You know, I honor the black man, you know, and I really root for his healing within himself and also self-awareness, because a lot of our black men don't know the importance that they are and who they are. With that being said,
The good stuff
y'all
coming
are,
now. When you hear that, with that being said, it's about to get real.
with that being said, I'm gonna be real. Man, we need you. But we need the you that you know you can be and that you're not afraid of being. You know? I'm not speaking of just you in general, but it's like more of, you know, you and I keep getting, what is it, window? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Up here. And it's to the point where I'm gonna be realistic. I'm raising a young black man who has an absentee father. I would never say fatherless. Absentee father. I reach out so many times and also on social media, others like therapists, things like that. Like, yo, I need a strong lead of male, especially a black male, to really step in sometimes, you know what I'm saying, sometimes, or just permanently on a mentorship. Because,
Right.
baby, it's so, y'all are so necessary and needed. But when I tell you, I am the CEO of Royal, that's my business. I did a Father's Day raffle this Father's Day. And for me to know a lot of black men that are very, very needed, necessary, and just, yeah, and it was hard for me to sit here and really name who is a deserving black father. Because we have fathers, but we got a lot of deadbeats out here. We have a lot of, like, I can name a ton of those that wasn't worthy or wasn't suitable for the raffle. But, oh my goodness, it was pulling teeth. Even for those that I
Right.
actually wrap it up to nominate people, it was like, are you serious? I felt so grateful, but I also felt incomplete.
I feel you. I feel you.
I really felt incomplete because we need you. I need you. The kids need you. You need you mostly. And Jesus, like, bump all that Section 8, all that society type stuff, man. When I tell you, we have to believe in ourselves, because, baby, when you show up for yourself, you show up for the community. You show up for you show up for your legacy. You show up for your ancestors. You show up. We need you. And I don't care. I mean, because everybody goes through their situation. I can't put no time
Right.
on nobody's whatever. Like y'all heard me say prior to this, I wish my kids' absentee fathers would go through their healing process, because, baby, like, your time is not up. These kids are gonna have grandkids and keep going. Like, I'm doing the best I can over here, and I'm gonna continue to do so, God willing. But show up in the best you possible, because it's only gonna get better if you just show
I dig
up.
it. I dig it.
That's
And
my plea.
I dig it. And again, I'm speaking like just for me, like, because again, y'all know how I feel about that, and you know, it's just the mental. A lot of stuff doesn't mentally like even like get to me, like because I know how I am with certain topics, and I'll go. I'll fill your timeline up right now about some shit if I feel like it. But I feel like as far as we have come as a society, because like we're championing black love right now. You know, and we know a couple that gets married. We're championing. You know, black love is beautiful. Black girl magic. Everything about us, we're championing it. But it's hard to say I see that for men and even little boys. You know, like that's why I post my son as much as I can, because I want him to one day see that and be like, yo, I've always been this Quay J. Everybody's always looked at me as a star, like, and you know, like, just to have that image, because it's lacking as a black man. It's lacking. I feel like, and again, I don't like to feel sound like I'm just saying, well, it's not fair, but it's not fair. Like, because you bust your ass to try to not be who society says you should be. And the moment you fall short of that, you right back to that. You don't get a rebound. And it's like, damn, like when did that not be the same for us? Because a lot of great women now, or women who are held in great light now, they had to go through that shit too. They had to grow up too. But they get that clean magic black. Like, we don't got that shit. We don't have that. And as black men, yeah, we can do it. We can say it. But it don't hit the same unless it's coming from a black woman. Like, that appreciation, you can't recreate that appreciation. Like, and it just feel like it's a disconnect on that appreciation. You go ahead, Monique.
I will. Okay. Roy, you touched on a lot of things. I feel like we have to be responsible with our words because words matter. It's not, when we were little, it used to be, anybody can say whatever they want to say to you as long as they don't touch you. I don't believe that that's true. I feel that words matter, and we have to be intentional with our wording, and we have to not only say things, but words they don't just matter. It has to match up with your action. And there was a time where we as black women, I could say, felt like we weren't being recognized by black men, right? At this standpoint, because colorism is a big thing in our community. This exotic, quote unquote, exotic look type thing is crippling in our community and in the world as a whole. But when we felt that, we created the Black Girl Magic movement. We didn't look to men to create that. That was something that women created for women. So I feel the same way we created that for ourselves, I think it is important and vital for black men to recognize black men doing their thing too. And yes, that appreciation and that love or that recognition and stuff, at the end of the day, the world don't love us as people. You know what I'm saying? We have to love
But we're not asking the world to love us. We're asking black women to love us.
This is what I'm saying. The world don't love us as people, individuals. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing that I would do that I'm gonna look to get, pat on the back type thing, whatever. But I am looking for that for the people who I connect with, the people who are in my circle. That means from my man, from my son, from my dad, from my brothers. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for them to lift me up, to encourage me, to put me on that pedestal. If they don't do that, and these are the people that I'm connecting with day in and day out, who I feel is supposed to know me, if those aren't the people that's doing it, then, if they are doing it, then yes, I feel great about myself. I wouldn't care if nobody else did it for me because y'all don't know me like that. And the only people who can really hurt you or make you feel some way about yourself are the people who you're close to. You don't care about what Joe Smo say about you. I know I don't. But I do care about how my children see me, how my son sees me, how my brother and my dad and my lover see me. I care about that. So if we're getting that from the people who we love, then that should be enough. Recognition from the world don't mean anything. But if I'm getting it from that circle, that should be enough for me to keep going, to change the things that they see things about me that's not right, and I need to get a hold of myself and do better, and to continue doing those things that they see that are great within me. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the things that they highlight as well. So I feel like, one, black men definitely need to step up for each other as brothers, because your experience, you're a black man, I'm a black woman, but my experience in this world is not your experience. There are things that we will connect on because just the black experience is there, but how you walk and navigate this world as a black man, I will never know. Right. I will never understand. I can see it from you, and my connection to you as my man and as another black person is to build you up and to encourage you in the household or whatever, because I can relate to you on something, but I can't relate to my son as a man. So I thank God that even though me and his dad aren't together, my ex-husband and I are divorced, that I thank God that he is a man. I will never put him down, even no matter what he and I may go through from our relationship standpoint. Who he is to my son as a father, how my son sees him, I will always keep that in high regard. Even if I got to lie and tell him some shit that his dad did, just so he would never have that feeling of letdown from his father as long as I can control it. You know what I mean? Because I know how important that is for him to feel, to see, to learn from, because he has to navigate the world as a black man. And by coddling him as a mom, you know what I'm saying, loving on him, I can tell him what I want to see from a black man, but I can't show him how to walk it out. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel like, one, we got to be responsible with our words and our experiences. We can't generalize it, and that's why I feel like women are responsible for our words, and then I also feel like men have to take a step back. And even if a woman is saying right now, this black man or black men ain't shit, let's say that's the, quote unquote, that's the thing, black men ain't shit. I have to be responsible for my words as a black woman, not to speak this into the atmosphere, because to me, speaking it is gonna return itself to you. So you plant what you want to see. So I'm a sow seeds of the positivity that I want to see from that black man. You know what I'm saying? I have to say that. I'm going to deal with myself. And we, as a community, we got to deal with counseling, going through therapy. It's real. We got to do that. It's necessary. But I also feel like black men have to understand that there's a hurt that our black women are going through as well. And the same way you all have to go through your counseling, we have to do our counseling. And recognize that it's not about you individually. You know what I'm saying? Or if I said it, or if another woman said it, it's not because she's targeting that towards you. She's speaking from a place of hurt, but you recognize it as well. Like, okay, she's speaking from hurt. She obviously isn't talking about me. I don't know this woman. You know what I'm saying? So she can't be talking about me. So not to take it with to take it with a grain of salt, and not to keep it with, your feelings on your sleeve as far as that, because we're all going through things, and everybody is at different levels of their walk or different levels of their journey into healing. So I feel like that the generalization has to cease, because it's not the individual. Your positivity isn't thrown on all men as something positive. You're a great dad. That's not thrown on all men. Oh, great men are great fathers. They're not saying that. So don't let the negative be attached to you. You know what I'm saying?
I got that.
You know what I'm saying? On that part too. And the last thing I will say for this, I will say that me, and this is my thing, I can't relinquish my crown or put it down if you're unwilling to pick yours up and put it on. You see what I'm saying? So if you're not recognizing who you are as a black man, I can't stop doing what I am, I can't stop. I don't want to say it that way, because I got to think back on that, because I don't want to put that out in the atmosphere, because I don't want anybody to take it the wrong way or take it out of context. So I hold on to that till I get it. But we have to be intentional on both ends. Black men have to be intentional with each other as a brotherhood. Mm-hmm. Black women have to be intentional. We have to be intentional with our words to each other as a sisterhood, and the experience of being black in this country, and recognizing the propaganda and the things that we see. Of course, they're going to throw the negative stuff out about us. They're never going to highlight the positive things. So we have to be intentional with our words, and and you will have to be intentional with each other and encouraging each other as well.
No, and I definitely get that, and it's not so much. I don't take it personal, because I'm Quay. Like, you can't tell me who Quay is. Like, that's something I live by. Like, I'm great at being Quay. I have my downfalls and my shortcomings, but who doesn't? It's more of, if we're gonna, again, it goes back to some of the things we talked about in the first part of this. If we're gonna do this together, which is the only way we can do this, then I feel as easy as it is to shed light on the negativity, it should be easy to shed light on the positivity of all men. Because it's never directed at me. Like as an individual, I don't think I leave that mark with women I have dated. I tell everybody, I feel like if you ask any woman I've ever dated about me, the first thing's gonna be positive. It won't be negative, you know. Like, and I'm divorced, but I can bet my bottom dollar that my ex-wife won't say that, oh, Quay ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Or he don't love black women or anything like that. It's just we, as much as I feel like, again, we have to champion our black women. Because that's like you said on the Black Girl Magic, it was created by black women. That's true. But black men, we champion the fuck out of that shit. Real black men champion the fuck out of that shit. Like that is something that I love seeing that in any aspect. I love seeing it. Like, go be great. Y'all deserve to be great because the world has suppressed y'all for far too long. So go be great. The ugly side of black men has suppressed y'all for far too long. So go be great. But one thing I've always learned or was always taught was you win with class and you excel with class. So go be great. But bring the other great people along with you. Like, but now it feels like it's just it's our time now. Y'all gonna stay in the back, and it shouldn't be that way. We had it fucked up. The past generations of men had it fucked up with that mentality. But the newer generations of men who actually want to be outstanding black men, we want to be standing beside y'all when y'all being great. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's comes across as we can only have one, like in female rap. Like we can only have one of y'all right now. We can't have everybody. And it feels like like if we got dope ass black women, we got dope ass black men. Let's champion that shit together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like let's be one together. Because again, if we don't get on one accord, that's we're gonna write our own demise. I don't take it personally, but I take it as if we can't get that part right about how much we mean to each other, and something that's even something. And I'll let you go next, because you haven't spoke, but something that's even as simple as the black men don't cheat. I've never seen a woman take that shit serious, you know, and I feel like. And again, I cheated in the past, but that's something I champion because, like we've been saying all night, you speak something into existence if you believe it to, if you want it to happen. And I'm never saying it's gonna never be 100% where people don't cheat, because people cheat, not just men or women. People cheat, but that's some shit like. I want to champion that. I want that to be championed because that should be the what we strive to reach, because we know how shit has been. You know, we know the rap that men get in relationships for stepping out and things like that, and deservedly so. But if we want to flip that narrative and we have something like, we're gonna preach this shit to every black man that we know to try to instill that into them, that ain't how you handle that situation. But it gets laughed at. You know what I'm saying? Like, just little things that I notice about it. Like, I just feel like, and it's not just the women. Like, they give the women certain tools to, like, you don't need that. You don't need that, man. You can do that on your own. And men are left out here like, well, damn, what am I supposed to do? Like, I still love y'all, but y'all ain't fucking with us right now. But that's my 2 cents. But I do want to hear, T, I want to hear your take.
Well, you know, man, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. So let's start here. One, I see the imagery on the news, on the media, movies, music, whatever. To the sister's credit, it was Malcolm X. He who controls the media controls the people. That was Minister Malcolm. I don't know. As a dad of 3 girls, it's just not something I've ever really considered. You know what I'm saying? From that aspect, what I do consider from that aspect, or the things I've learned over the years, is one, you know, especially girls who are dark. Like one of my daughters is dark skinned, the other two are light, right? My stepdaughter is mixed. So,
Oh shit!
yeah, like I have a coat of many colors, right?
It's
Like
the light
Father
for me.
Abraham, So I got this whole thing going on. Anyway, I'm more or less concerned about how they view themselves and that they know that they're special people. They have value, worth outside of their looks, outside of, what people are willing to say about them. Like, hey, um, you're a pretty person and then you're smart. Hey, you're beautiful and then you're capable of doing these other things. Because Carrie Fisher, who played Leah Skywalker, died, right? And Steve Martin tweeted, she was a beautiful, brilliant actress. And people gave him so much shit about it, right? Like, well, why does the beautiful come first and so forth and this and this? And I didn't think anything of it. I was like, I don't know why they're giving this man so much crap. But then as I got older, I saw that that is some of the things that we highlight first about a woman, or her looks, and then I thought about how we put everything else second. Then she's funny, then she's this, and then she's that. And then like when the sisters came on just a moment ago, I'm an opinionated woman. I've never heard a man say I'm an opinionated man, because I'm a man. I speak my mind. It's like, all right, that seems to be the default. So it's always been my prerogative to encourage my girls to have a sense of self, to know who they are, to know they are a child of God, to, follow their own path, to not make it a point to be like anybody else, but to be themselves. And so I guess I kind of put that on the back burner, right? And the one thing that came forward was, if I don't project the proper image, the proper role, the proper, person, and if I'm not real about it and honest with them about who I am, then who are they going to fall in love with, right? Like, what kind of image am I showing to my girls of what a man is, And so I've always made it a point to be honest with my girls, to be transparent with my girls, to make it a point to tell them I am not perfect. Because I remember when I found out my mom wasn't perfect, my world just crashed. I was like, you mean to tell me Joyce Tolliver is not perfect? You're telling me that Sarah Baker Mount, my grandmother, is not like one step down from the end. This is wild, right? So I've always wanted them to understand I'm a human too. I'm not correcting you because this is just made up. This ain't make believe. I've done these mistakes, or I've seen other people do these mistakes. I'm telling you from real life experience. And like the sister was saying about colorism, son, when I tell you what these girls go through, when my dark skinned daughter has to go through versus these other two light skinned girls, son, the things I've heard since grade school, grammar school, is wild.
That's real.
So I've never really taken that into account. Oh, your hair is kinky. Oh, this one got good hair. She got good hair. I'm like, what? And my mom, it's 2021, so 61 years old, she had to explain that to her. Because she's light skinned, right? And she's like, yeah, you get treated this way and saw this way. And I reflect back on my years, as a young person. Look at how we vaulted up these red bone women, these light skinned women. We objectified them. And then let's just call it a spade. We objectified them, right? Oh, that light skin, that red bone, boy, I got me a bad one, Dark skin, yeah, okay, whatever. Or you hear now or see on Twitter, I'm not really into dark skin girls. Like, what is that? They're people. It's a woman. Like, how do you, projectify that? But to stay on
And they
topic.
mama be dark skinned though.
Exactly. Your mama dark. Your sister dark. Now, somebody say that about one of them, you got a problem.
And to just interject, one word that we've all used all day is programming. We've been programmed like that's it's programmed.
100%. No, because that stems back from the lighter you are, the closer to white you are, and then you become what is it called, white passable or whatever the phrase is now. You just watch The Imitation of Life, you'll get the whole story, which is a horror movie to watch. But in any event, that conflict of who you are. And so when we talk about black men, and you talked about Brother Samuel, I haven't seen a lot of his videos or anything like that, or that other brother Jackson, Derek Jackson. I haven't watched a lot of their videos. I don't really take into account a lot of people's opinion. I'm like, it's an opinion. It's not really counted towards me. One thing I think, so far as the black man is concerned, is that we have to start holding each other accountable. We have to start lifting each other up because, now I'm not afraid to tell you I love you. Right. And you're not afraid to tell me that you love me. But look how hard that was for us to openly say, because like you were saying, the program. Yep. And we see time and time and time again, other brothers objectifying our women, mistreating our women, or doing some of these things that aren't really within the standard of what is right towards our women, right? And are we holding each other accountable, or are we enabling that behavior, right? So if it starts at home in that small circle to say, hey man, that's not cool, don't do that, we got to police each other up, as we like to say in the military, right? We got to police each other up. So if I see you out here doing the wrong thing, I'm like, hey man, that image reflects not just on you, but on me. And not so far as like what other people may say, because damn their opinion, you're my brother. We're family. We're in this together, When I see you, I should see myself. When you see me, you should be able to see yourself. If there's something in me that's like, hey man, come on. I know that you're better than this. I know. How many times post Mitchell's did we want to knock the motherfucker out? Facts. But it was like, hey man, come on, you know how the story goes. Yep. So we got to hold each other up. And so far as the concern of the black woman and the black man, that just generic goes back to programming, right? And I think from my small perspective, we have two sides in our community. You got the people who are genuinely struggling, like truly struggling, and you have people who do have, right? And then the rest is the middle, right? Some of us lean towards, I want to pretend like I have, and I'm going to flash on IG or Twitter or whatever for social media. And you have the other half who really do have it, but they just want to embrace the struggle. Like, oh, I'm from the struggle. Like, you're really not, but whatever, right? And it's almost like a warring class. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, for example, as I've said to you guys in our group chat, and I see Twitter, it's like, if you can't pay for me and my girlfriend to eat dinner at Applebee's or whatever, or Ruth Chris or whatever, then it ain't for me. Or I ain't got it. Or if you got it. You know what I mean? If you ain't got $200 for the date, then is it a date? Like, is that real? Or, I've been married for a while, so I don't know. I'm like, is that a real thing? If you
but that single struggle is real.
The single struggle is real, but I also feel like, okay, there is a disconnect between what people you said, you brought social media. Social media has been it can be the bridging of a gap, or it can be extending the gap. You see what I'm saying? So when we have things and I'll say our culture, because first of all, Black people, we're not a monolith. You know what I mean? Everybody believes something different. We grew up differently. We just have the shared experiences of everything that ties us together is the color of our skin and how the outside world sees us or what they think of us. That's the commonality. Everything else, it differs in communities the same way it does in every other ethnic background. So we have to break that wall down right there for ourselves. But that imagery and those comments and stuff that I see, it's not from the everyday real working women and or women or young ladies it is now in the world. I don't think so. I really believe it, and this is where I differ in this opinion, because I do think that social media and the hip hop, the sports entertainment world has taken off. You know what I mean? So when you have people in their guys, and I say guys in their rap, and you see the ball players and stuff like that, or the entertainers talking about how they popping bottles every time they go out. Oh, they got songs where they talk about, it ain't tricking if you got it, and all this other stuff. Those comments in their songs and saying and guys saying, yeah, I got this money, so that's why I got the bad, chick, so I got this type of girl and this, that, and the third. When you rap about those things, that type of, the things you hear from women or other females and stuff like that, that's what you're gonna get. So if those are the type of men that they're attracted to, you know what I'm saying? So the game it's not new. You know what I'm saying? Like what women need from men or want from men, it's been the same thing from the beginning of time. It's the security, it's the protection. So I don't want us to go far off the track and say that all women think that way or all men rap that way. It's just you have to weed out the ones who talk like that. And if that person don't align up with the values and what you want out of that person or out of a relationship, if they're not really acting and being about that life, then we got to say, you know what, this ain't for me. But again, not generalize it and put that on every other woman, because I know more women who's not on that tip. That I see that more with the younger 20-year-olds and stuff like that. Maybe some 30.
Wait.
I see some 30. I'm about to say some older ones that's talking about this thing. But and that's what I'm saying. Like, it comes from all backgrounds. It comes from all ages. I know some young girls who's 19, and ain't on that. I can talk about me as 19 when I became a parent. I was 19. I was doing some responsible stuff, but that was just how I was raised. I'm the oldest of 10 kids. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm from Brooklyn, I mean, there's a lot of us up there. I wasn't the Southern girl, but I came with Southern traditions and upbringing because that's where my family is from. Well, that's how we grew up. People. So I think it's not something that's particular to a age, to a lifestyle or whatever. It's just finding the people who connect with you, who see life the way you see it. And if they don't, then because there are guys who rap about stuff like that, or ball players who talk about stuff like that. And those are the type of females that they want. So guess what? They're going to get those females when they project that in, and that's the type of lifestyle that they're living. But when people, tend to settle down and come to reality about things, you do see more of them leaning more on the traditional side of doing things. Not that, quote unquote gold digging type thing, but men want beautiful women. I'm not negating that. Whoever you're attracted to and what you find beautiful for you, if I'm not that, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm comfortable with that. And I think that's the difference. That's where a lot of women pick up and where men pick up. People put their preference or what they like out there and then try to flip it and turn it on them as, to make them a bad person. No, I don't necessarily disagree with everything Kevin Samuels says, but I disagree with Kevin Samuels, and that's another topic all in itself. But, I'm not the cup, the drink in every man's cup. And that's okay, So I'm going to rock with the people who show interest in me. The man that shows interest in me, who respects me for who I am, who values me for who I am, who loves my opinion and everything else, that's the person that I'm going to be dear to. And I can't knock every man that, even if I do like them and they may not find me attractive, I can't say that he ain't shit or he don't know a good woman when he sees one and all that other stuff that comes with it. You know what I'm saying? We just can't paint everybody with a broad brush. We just have to accept folks for who they are. If they like you, rock with them. If they don't, let them move on. But that doesn't make that person a bad person, male or female. But, again, tying everything back together, men have to be advocates for themselves. Women, we have to be intentional with our words. We have to be responsible for our words. We can't generalize everything on, men or women, when we're talking about this relationship dynamic. But understanding that this is the society that we live in, and these are the things that are pushing the negative agenda and emasculating Black men, or demonizing and vilifying Black women. We have to see that, recognize it for what it is, and move forward and doing the best thing that we can to project the positive in our action, in our words. That's how I feel on it.
And I agree. I always try to, even when I'm on social media and I'm commenting or whatever, I always try to make sure I always let everybody know that men and women, like, we all do the same thing. You know, like we all have the same highs, we all have the same lows, we all cross the same bridges. Like we do good shit, y'all do good shit. We do fuck shit, y'all do fuck shit. Like that's just life, you know. You know, like and it's not to generalize it, but to a certain extent, you have to speak in general about people because again, everybody's not the same, but we have everybody. We are the same to a certain extent. Like it's nothing new under the sun. So we all go through the same shit. We all go through the same struggles. And again, like it's not a pity me type of thing that I wanted to talk about this about or anything like that. And it's just that I feel like it does more harm than good in the grand scheme of things for either side of the sexual pendulum to especially in our community to not. Like, why would I waste my time saying women ain't shit because of a situation that I've been through? You know, like we have to choose our words just as wise as women have to. But again, now from a man's perspective, women can say whatever y'all want to say. To men, especially.
No, we can't.
But from my point of view, that's how it's perceived. A man could disagree with a woman, and a woman could call that man gay immediately. You know what I'm saying? That happens far too often. Just because because we disagree with something that a woman might say, or if you don't do it this way, oh, you must be this, you must be that. We can't toe that line the same way. And again, it's not just y'all can go out here and just go crazy, but it's certain instances where it's like, damn, like I couldn't say that as a man, even to another man. Like I would get chastised by society for saying that, but a woman could say that. That's what I was speaking to with that. But I just feel like, and again, that's another reason I wanted to have this conversation. I feel like this is the way that we get over these hurdles is by conversation and discussion in the black community. Because and Tyler hit some good points. And I think he can attest to this, and other guys that know me, like I'm all about policing black men. Like you can't rock with me if you want some bullshit. Like I'm not with it. Like I'm not with it. And the same way he has to instill in his daughters what a stand-up black man is, I have to do the same thing with my son. You know, and I take that to the heart daily. Like I have to. It is my only sole mission in life to make sure my son understands how to be a stand-up black man in this society, in the society that he's going to grow up in going forward. Because his life is on the line if he's not. His life. You know what I'm saying? Not just a relationship. His life is on the line if he doesn't know how to maneuver as a black man in this country. So I take that serious. So I want him to be able to have a conversation with a black woman, not just about dating, but just a conversation in general of ideas and thoughts and just where they see the world at when they're 17 years old, things like that. And I feel like our generation, we started it, but we started later in life than we even should have, because we're having these conversations now at late 20s and early 30s and things like that. And it's some of these conversations are hard to have because shit, we done been through enough. Like, man, I got this far being who I am. You the problem. I'm not the problem. You know what I mean? Where it's like, like we really gotta understand how to talk to black women, because ain't nobody teaching me how to talk to black women. I had to figure it out. And a lot of times it's vice versa. Like I was talking to somebody and it was like, black men and black women don't learn how to date. Like you're not taught how to court. You just figure that shit out. So you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna do wrong things. For those who get it right from middle school and end up marrying the person they met when they were 8, I'm jealous of that, because y'all ain't have to go through none of this. Y'all figured it all out at 8 years old and married that person. That is insane to me, because it's like, yo, thought I had it right. Nope, didn't get it right. I should have did this. I bobbed when I should have weaved. Damn, let me figure it out again. But I'm not. But Don't hold it against me because I got it wrong. Teach me now what I should have did this time, and let me tell you what I did so we can see where it may have been a disconnect. And it all comes back to we gotta have these conversations. Sometimes they get uncomfortable, and that's cool. Like we don't like being uncomfortable, but we gotta be uncomfortable because that helps you grow.
I'll say, sorry, I had to run away.
Nah, you good.
Bringing the groceries, but Monique is right. You got to stop perpetuating that stuff on social media. Use it as a bridge. To your credit, like we talked about with your son, you know, we've all had that conversation, and then with our other friend's son, you know, teach him to be that strong black man. Teach him to be, you know, open and honest and willing to, you know, voice his opinion and so forth. Because it's not just about holding stuff in and I can carry the burdens of the world. That's not real strength. Is being honest and earnest and knowing who you are, one, and then two, you know, like we talk about with the way the world sees the black man, right? From an early age, like what you're doing, teaching them that he has value, like what these sisters are doing with their sons, with their kids, you know, teaching them that he has value, right? You don't belong to the streets. The streets don't own you. They don't have any sway over you, right? You may not come from a two-parent household. You may not come from the richest household. You may not live in this grandiose life, but you value, have matter, and what you will be when you grow up means something. You contribute to the world, and I believe that's where it starts. Because a lot of us didn't get that, you know, growing up. We didn't. My mom and grandma told me, yeah. My church home told me, yeah. And then you kind of expect it, right? As you get older, like you expect it. Like, yeah, your mom will say you're good looking, like that's kind of a given. And you get to school, and your teacher's like, come on now, Wendell, you know really well. You know. So reaffirming that, building them up, because we know what they're going to go through on a regular basis. We know what they're going to encounter. And you, as a father of a black man, a future black man, know better than anyone what he's going to encounter, right? I can only relate to my daughters so much, you know? Like, I have to constantly be cognizant of the things I say to them, you know, especially like when they're 14 now. So, you know, there's this body issue thing and whatever, you know? So I used to be like, oh, you a big-footed monkey, you know, or whatever, you know, just joke about each other and whatnot. But now they're at the age where that kind of, it has a little bit going on, you know.
Something, yeah, has a weight.
I'm like, all right, we're not going to make those jokes anymore. So, they reach that age where their body is doing womanly stuff, you know, or whatever. And so
I do not envy you at all. Trust me.
It's a rough one, you know, and sometimes, you know, maybe twice a quarter, you know, I'll read Deuteronomy and I'm like, send her outside. She's unclean, send her out. Or come in my house, you know. But then, you know, I tell her, like, you're special, you're somebody, your body is your natural, that's what's happening, you know, whatever, just to reaffirm that, because we got to build them up. We got to build up our young people. And like you were saying, so they can talk to each other, you know, so they can have those conversations. You know, that we're not at war with each other.
Right.
You know, that it's not you versus me, or setting these unrealistic expectations, or because you're scorned, as the sister was saying in the beginning, now we generalize everybody. It's like that. We take it out on everybody. You get hurt in a relationship, heal. Start that process. It's a long process, but you got to start the process. So when my wife and I got together, quite frankly, I wasn't shit, to be honest with you, right? Like, she met somewhat of a decent person, but not quite close. And it had to be some growth in there. It had to, you know, evolve and take in that, you know, that intrinsic look of me and saying, what am I doing? What am I really doing? You know what I mean? Because you remember me back in the day, I could drink. And now I'm like,
yeah,
my girls are seeing me getting lit. What does that say to them? What does that communicate about what a man is to them? Yeah, I'm providing. They live in a good house. They have a decent life. But here I am, drunk, screaming at the football game, you know, having a long day, haven't really spent time with them, speaking to them. You know, what am I doing? We have to take that moment to look at ourselves, see what we're doing, heal from past hurts, not project that on other people. Because, like you were saying, you don't take it personal, but it's like, is that how you view me?
Right.
When you look at it at work, right? We all get looked at the same at work. You know, as we talked about, other colored supervisors love to tell that big black guy what to do. Or have that, chest puffed out, like, hey, you do this. And like, okay, I see what you're doing, but I'm not the guy. One, I'm not your enemy. I'm not here to create problems. I'm here to do my job.
Yep.
Two, you breaking this buck is not going to, reaffirm your masculinity whatsoever, right? You're still going to be the same soft-bodied man when you get home as you did when you came in today, right? So we don't have to be combative with each other. We can lift each other up and say, hey, I know what struggles you're experiencing. I may not experience it the same way. I may not have the same viewpoint or the same, background, because as Sister was saying, we're not a monolith, right? But I can share in that. I can relate in that. I can be there for you to help you, you know what I mean? And I think as men are concerned, we have got to break away from this programming of we can't talk about our feelings. As you and I have talked about, we can't go get mental health. We can't, you know what I mean, break away from the cycle of just being.
Can't be vulnerable.
Yeah, you can't. Oh no, don't share your feelings. Keep it in. Bottle it up. Push it down. Push it all, especially in the military. Push it down. You don't have time for that. Is that healthy? Your eyes start twitching. You got high blood pressure, ulcers, and all this other stuff.
You angry all the time?
Yeah, you can't sleep, because we're programmed to believe that's what a man looks like. That's what a strong black man is. You're looking at your granddaddy at work at a mill for 14, 16 hours. You don't have to perpetuate that. We know now.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You can get counseling, like you were saying. You can get help. You can get therapy. And like Roy was saying, be concerned about your mental health. It does not make you weak. Like I tell my soldiers, I tell my kids, I tell everybody, seeking mental health makes you stronger.
Yes, it does.
Because you're being honest, and you're seeking help. We all need help, If Jesus fell down on his face in the Garden of Gethsemane and prayed for help and strength, who am I to say, I don't need help, I'm good, I got it. I'm too tough for that. Like, what? And then as women, to not exploit that and look down on that man for coming to you with that, trusting you with that. I'll tell my wife some stuff. I will never I'll take it to the grave. I'm not telling nobody else because I trust we have that relationship, that understanding, and I know that I told her this and I didn't probably have the best delivery, but she understands me because we have grown together, right? And we have this foundational understanding of shared learning and understanding to know where I'm coming from and to learn and respect each other, right? And so I think that we as men, we have to nurture that. We have to nurture that amongst each other. Because if you come to me and say, brother, I got something on my heart, I got something on my chest. Because even Jackie Wilson made a song about it. He's like, I can't come to my brother. Why can't I come to my brother with what I have on my heart? I shouldn't exploit that. Like, oh, that brother weak.
Right.
Man, you love me, man. What's wrong? Or you kiss your son on the cheek and people are like, what? You kissing that boy? He gonna grow up to be gay. What? Like, really? That is my son. From my loin. What? And we have to break those cycles and curses in our own circle. So with you and I, to your son, to his little friends, so forth and so on, and that's just what I think, because I do believe overall, one, the image is negative. Two, very rarely in the modern day world do you see, if you just look at a regular commercial, a black man and a black woman, right? She's either single or got a white man, or he got a white woman. And if we look at rap, we are vaulting this exotic foreignness on this level that I don't understand. I do not understand. You're like, oh, she's from wherever, Lithuania, Estonia. They hate you there. And this woman here loves the dirt off you. So we have to, take a step back, because you're going to love who you love, but don't put one above the other.
Don't compare. And that's that's the part where I definitely understand. Like, again, I don't just speak from a man's stance. I speak from a man's perspective, but I definitely understand how women see that type of stuff because we see it as men. And me personally, like, I love black women. Like, that's just what it is, you know. Like, I love black women. Like, like even when I learned what like colorism and colorist shit was, like I was like, people tripping. Like, all black women are beautiful. Like we are lucky enough to have a rainbow of black women. Like, don't nobody else got that but us. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it when it becomes I only like such and such because of insert bullshit reason, that's when it's an issue. And I'm like, nah, that's stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'll even ask you, like, why don't you? You like a dark skinned woman and a lighter skinned woman, and like, so why you don't like this one? You like this one, and just try to prod it and see what the reasoning behind it is, and not to like pass judgment, but just to see like why does this person think this way? Because I've never ever had a preference between light or dark. It's either I like you or I don't like you. Like, if I'm attracted to you, I'm attracted to you. Like, that's just how it is. But I ain't never been I only want to date. So that's, to me, you're stupid because now you're cutting off your potential soulmate because whatever reason. But
that goes into what Roy talked about a couple of segments ago in reference to us understanding our worth and knowing who we are. Like, I feel like a lot of times when we get into the whole light skin, dark skin, white, black, it is not understanding at the essence of it is not understanding who we are. Like, especially in those tend to be a lot of closed-minded people who haven't traveled the world or haven't been to other places and stuff, or just understand Africa, period. Like we have everything, and it didn't take a mixing of anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I say we don't understand Black people as a whole, and there's segments of us who get down to the deep, but as a whole, we do not understand the real grasp of white supremacy and what racism, slavery did to us. We had no definition of light skin, dark skin. That wasn't a thing. And I've traveled and I've been to. I haven't been to every country or know every tribe, but I've been to enough of them to know and to see that even there, colonialism played a big thing in their background and their upbringing and stuff as well. So, like, not understanding that history and knowing what white supremacy, racism has done to us as it pertains to slavery in America is is critical. You know what I'm saying? So when you have us not understanding who we are, not understanding our worth, we're gonna constantly be combative. When we don't understand what the mixing of light, making more lighter skin, compared to the dark skin, mixing with master and having his offspring, not by choice, by force, of course, and then going and how they were trying to divide us, and then because again we have every shade you can think of comes from us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can make it, create it, and it's black and it's beautiful, and not understanding that these are the things that are used to pit us against each other is what's tearing us down. It's like, it's that system, or of the Willie Lynch story and his letters of how you can keep the gambit going without doing anything. When you were mentally enslaved, damn the physical, you know what I mean? I don't need to put a chain around you if I can have you to think like me, to talk like me, to act like me, to hurt yourself just as I would. You know what I mean? I don't need a chain to do that. Once I got your mind, that's a wrap. You know what I mean? So it's hard, but like I said, that goes into us understanding each other. And then when we see things, a lot of people tend to be ignorant on purpose. You know what I'm saying? You can be ignorant, you know what I'm saying? Because we all are to some, to a plethora of things, a lot of stuff we just don't know about every topic and stuff, you know. So, but when you a willing participant and being ignorant to the situation,
Yep.
that's where I have a problem. And to me, at that point, it doesn't matter about you being black or white or Asian or Latino or anything like that. We have an issue when you're willing to be, dumb to a situation and not want to rise above it, or just to go with well, this is just how I feel. Like, an opinion doesn't mean anything, but if I give you a fact and you steadily, turning left to the fact, then now we have a problem. And in that regard, I see that we have an issue with that, not just with the light skin and stuff, but us, again, speaking the negative instead of the positive, and reaping, sowing all of the seeds to what we want to see in each other. Recognizing your greatness as a black man, you recognizing my greatness as a black woman, that we're equal, that we're in this together. And that's how we're going to make our community and stuff, thrive. But I can't, start with everybody on the outside. Like I said, touching the inside my wall, teaching my daughter how to act as a black woman, how to maneuver as a black woman, and being vulnerable to both of them. Let them see my flaws. They see them. Like, I talk to my kids since probably they're about 6 or 7 years old. Like, I would talk to my friends, and that's how they respect me as their mother, but they trust me enough to be their friend as well. You see what I'm saying? So now that I have an 18-year-old daughter, you know what I mean? So now I have to maneuver this world with a grown-up, a legal. I have a legal adult, but she's my child. But I can't, the things I did or talked to her for, I can't talk to her like that now. You know what I'm saying? But I need her to be able to talk to me about any and everything. Mom, seeing that I did some things that were wrong in the relationship or whatever, and talking to her and being vulnerable at that, so she doesn't make the same mistakes that I do, or understanding how to recover from those mistakes, or how to strengthen areas where she's weak, because she didn't grow up how I did, in the city, New York, Brooklyn, all day, you know what I'm saying? This little suburban army kid, for the most part. And now she's an adult, seeing life in a different way. But we had to rear our kids up to let them know what the real is, and how to treat a black man, how to talk to a black man, how to respect a black man, and respecting them that way, what you need in return as a black woman. The same respect, the same trust, the same love. It's not less or more. It's you give, and you get that in return, and recognizing and loving yourself enough that when you don't get what you push out, okay, this is nothing for you. I just recognize that you don't recognize what love and that trust and stuff is, but I have to love myself enough to go, you know what I mean? And the same thing with my son. Son, this is how a woman should talk to you. This is how you should be treated as a man. Don't put yourself down. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep yourself on this pedestal and give that respect that you want so that you can get in return. And when you don't, establish that baseline of, I don't play that. I'm not, receiving that. Here is how I want you to talk to me, from male or female. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, men need to know how to talk to each other and have resolve. Women need to learn how to talk to each other and have resolve, disagreeing or agreeing together, and then how we talk to each other. Vice versa. That's how we're going to build our communities. That's how we strengthen our families and see the change that we want to see in all of it.
I definitely understand, and I couldn't have worded that better as far as you having, the daughter and the son, and how you approach that, because that's right. Like I said, it's all about. I feel like it's not all about, but a lot of things that go unsaid continue to happen, and once we start having these conversations, is when the breakthroughs happen. It may not happen in the first conversation between the man and the woman, or two men, or whatever, because especially we know us men, we're stubborn. And I know I'm stubborn. I can admit that, but I'm also to the point in life now where I know, like, it's all right to have a disagreement, but you have to reach understanding beyond anything. And I think that same thing holds true for men and women, because at the end of the day, and this is not for y'all, it's for the people who gonna watch or whatever. It's not a, a finger pointing thing for me. It was a topic of discussion, and a way to have a reference point of like, okay, we discussed these things, and these things came up. Now we as men and women can understand. All right, I see these points of view from men and women on these things, and I get it now, because like you said, it's about that respect thing, and I think that was the word that I have been looking for. Is like, I can't ask anybody up here to respect me, and then once you give me that respect, I turn around and disrespect you. You get what I'm saying? And that has happened for so long from the male perspective towards women. I would be a fool to even try to say that didn't happen. But now that, again, we are championing women, rightfully so, and it should continue. It can't be a platform, and again, not for all women, but it can't be a platform you just say, okay, well, I'm here now, fuck y'all. You get what I'm saying? It has to be we're here because we deserve to be here, but now we have to make sure we all are here, because like I said earlier, if we don't get on one accord, that's when we meet our demise, and that holds true through everything for me. Like black men and women specifically, and shout out to anybody who watches this, but I'm black, so I'm gonna talk about black stuff. But if black men and women don't get on one accord, it's gonna just continue, because they don't want us on one accord. They don't want us to have conversations to grow. And like, oh, I understand women better now because I'm not a man. Or I understand men better now because I'm not a woman. And I can have a conversation with the woman that I am not with, but I can have a conversation about her, about relationships and things like that. You know, the stuff that we don't do that should be normal. Just like we said, the mental health and things that we don't do that should be normal, we can do that now, and we can have people that we can say, hey, I just want to talk about a topic today. Let's talk about this and have a great conversation about a topic and actually learn something from it, because I definitely learned something from it. That's why I picked y'all to join me on this, because I wanted to learn something from it. I wanted to learn about how somebody else may see this topic, because again, I'm stubborn. I may get caught in my ways, and sometimes it may be T, it may be you, it may be Roy. Y'all hit me up. We might have a discussion about something. Like, all right, I see what you're saying. I may still be a little bit iffy about it, but I'm gonna give it an honest thought. I'm gonna give it an honest value because of the person. And a lot of times that goes into it as well. You know, people don't. I can't put the last person's faults on the next person. I have to give that person their due and their chance. And I think that's just what we continue to have to do. So somebody still got fireworks, or is that me? Is that out here? Somebody got.
That's me and Rain. We have Elsa that came up north.
Okay. Like I said, they got 5 days. The 5th day, fireworks. They had a lot of money up there.
Oh yeah, we did. They had it before then.
But did anybody have anything else? I know we had other topics that we were supposed to get to, but we had some very good conversation on these. I don't want to hold y'all. It is Friday here and Saturday in Korea, where T is, and I don't want to. We've been up here for a nice amount of time, but so if you don't have anything, I really, really appreciate y'all for joining me.
This should be a part 2.
That's what I was about to say. I definitely want to get the part 2. We have the chat because again we have the everybody's in different places, but I know T's half a day ahead of us. So I try to make it where he can be good, because what time is it there now?
So let's see. It is 11
a.m. right, Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I try to set it up that way so everybody can be up and for the situation. So I thank everybody for joining. I very, 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 very much appreciate your opinions and outlooks and just the conversation in general. I think this is what our community needs. I started this podcast, as y'all know, a couple months ago, and I wanted my direction to be not like the normal podcast or the gossip podcast. I think it's enough of that already. And I don't want to just jump into something everybody else is doing and fall in line. Like I want to really talk about stuff that matters to us as people, and I want to talk to people that matter and feel like things matter to us as people. So it wasn't just me like let me see who I can pick. I really thought about who I wanted to be, who I wanted to talk to, and it was y'all. So I appreciate y'all for giving me this time. I hope everybody took something away from it for real, because I really did.
Definitely.
And whenever we can set this part 2 and continue on, and if y'all have anything that y'all would like to bring to the forefront, just let me know. We can set it up. Y'all want to have a one-on-one, talk about whatever, I'm with whatever, like it is what it is. But I definitely appreciate it. Before we go, if y'all want to, drop out social media or anything like that, if y'all have anything y'all want to promote, whatever is going on with y'all want the people to know about, please feel free. Anybody?
Well, I am going to be start my podcast once I'm on retirement vacation right now, but I am heading. Yeah, you're retired 20 years done, but I will
one
start
day
my podcast once I get once I get settled in my new abode somewhere in the southeast here shortly, but I will give a play and push that out there. But I just want to encourage us to continue being great fathers, encourage us being great mothers, husbands to some, future wives and future husbands to the others, but just to keep whoever you come in contact with, whether it's your soldiers, people at your job, whoever you see at the grocery store, doing laundry, whatever it is, just encourage, be a light of encouragement, encourage one another, encourage us, in our walk as Black in America, and how we, travel abroad here and there, and just blessings to all of you on your journeys and everything that you have going forward with your business, with your careers and stuff. I just love us. I just love everything that represents us, from the top of our heads to the soles of our feet. I just love being a Black person, and I just encourage y'all to, if y'all feel down or whatever, we can reach out to each other, but just be an encouragement, be a light to somebody else, train our children up, and just be the positive that we want to see out in the world and in our community. That's all I have right now. But thanks, Quay, for the hookup and the conversation.
I guess me. You can follow me on Facebook. I Inspire is my business page, so it's the letter I, Inspire. You can also follow me, subscribe on YouTube. I will be putting new content up there. I just started my YouTube channel. I also am on Instagram at @IAM_Royal, which is ROYAL _Royale, ROYALE. That's on Instagram. On Twitter, it's I Inspire, as well as YouTube, and also on Facebook. You can also follow me on TikTok if you want to. That's a new trend there. And it is Royale CEO. Continue to be the best you possible. If you don't know who you are, take time to figure out who you are. It is a blessing to know you, because you can't search yourself through someone else, and that's the advice I give everyone, including myself, every day. A lot of people are big on this spiritual journey and things like that, but it's a personal thing. It's really personal, and it's personal to the point where you're gonna just be a better you. They always tell us, do your best on the test. I am my biggest test. I am my biggest test, Lord, and I was tested and testing myself. So, I mean, honestly, the best thing that comes to mind is everything that we probably heard growing up from educators and parents, with each one teach one. Don't be afraid of constructive criticism. Accountability. Love yourself, and just support one another wholeheartedly and pure-heartedly. And if you can't and you're around individuals that don't do so, hey, step aside, baby. You'll be okay. That's mostly my social media platforms that I do want to say that I want to branch out to the podcast. I am all things health, mental health, and more. I'm the Jane of all trades. And yeah, I'm going to do my shout out. I'll be 30 this August, so I'm excited. My birthday, Leo.
Okay.
I'm a Leo. I'm a proud Leo. I'm kind of a chill Leo today. But yeah, I'm very, very blessed to embark this new journey of new level of my life. The 20s have done me some justice. I've done some justice with it, but it's time to embark this new level. I'm just excited about this life that I am blessed and God continue to bless me to live. So, and thank you, Quay, for this opportunity. I can't wait for more and more and more with all of you, not him. So yeah.
Appreciate it. And T.
Yeah, well, I guess I feel bland now. I don't have anything to promote, but I will say that, one, this was a blessing. I appreciate your sister's input. Edwards is always a good time, sharing and, exchanging ideas and whatnot. To those who may listen, I hope this has been beneficial. It's been a blessing to you as well, and that it inspires you to step out of your comfort zone. And as Edward says, take that step and to begin to grow, to begin to look around and see where you can help. As the sister just said, each one teach one and reach one, right? We can all affect change in our immediate sphere of influence. You don't have to have so many people on social media and whatnot. You can just, the person at the grocery store, like she said, the person that you meet at school or wherever it may be, you can affect change in your immediate area. The one thing I will promote, it's going to sound a little weird, but please utilize your local library. Read a book. Go in there, utilize that tool, educate yourself, find a topic that you're passionate about, something that you want to do, and go run down that path, explore that, be great. There's nothing stopping you. You can do that. It's a free resource. Pick up a book, learn something, find a new passion, and start making the world a better place.
I appreciate that. And that is very, very, very dope. Read a book, buy your kids books. I make sure I do that all the time. I did want to hit on Roy. You hit the word on the head. The one word I like to use, especially us vets, accountability. That's the most overlooked word in the English language, in my opinion. But everybody, personal accountability is the greatest tool to help you grow. Hold yourself accountable and stuck with father in line. Just wanted to put that out there. But again, I appreciate you all for coming. Spending the evening with me. I feel I appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. And again, we're going to get this part 2 lined up. So if you're watching, stay tuned. And that's all I have. Thanks everybody for tuning in to the Quality Time podcast. And we are out of here.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good night, good morning. Have a good one.
All right, you too. God bless.
They ask for greatness, I promise perfection. Mama birthed the king, immaculate conception. I survived in the darkness and the shadows of death. And through all that I prospered, they formed every weapon. But I came so thorough, never changed my wardrobe. Took every scar with honor, I was raised in the borough.